Hello everyone, I'm Sara Sach. Welcome back to my crochet channel. Today's video is, of course, Scrap Happy Monday. And so this is a scrap happy project I think you're really going to enjoy making. This is the thick and chunky dishcloth. They're great for scrubbing in the kitchen and in the bathroom. And you can even scrub your body with them, not just your dishes and your sinks. And bathtubs, of course. I really love these because they're pretty. They use up lots of cotton yarn that we have just laying around, and they're quick and easy to make. It's basically, you start with a circle, and then we work it out, increasing every row, and it has this fun corner cluster stitch down the center, which gives us a little bit of texture for scrubbing. Now you could use any cotton yarns that you have. You could even incorporate some of your scrubby yarns in this if you wanted to. I just wanted to use up lots of colors and make some beautiful ones. Now you know I love bright colors, and so I really love this one and how it turned out. And then I had some of this. This is 2 strands of medium weight number 4 held together. This one is a bulky number 6 that I had on hand, so I just used 1 strand. It is cotton, of course, and if you're someone who prefers to make these out of acrylic yarn, you certainly can. You can hold 2 strands of medium weight acrylic yarn together, or you could use a chunky yarn like I did on this one. This is a Lion brand cotton. I don't remember what it's called because it was just in my yarn stash. Okay, but that gives you some options of how you can make them and use up your yarn. So, but we'll talk more about yarns in just a minute. Okay, now it measures about 12 by 12 inches. It's not, as you can see, an exact square because of how we do the circle. And this circle is important because once you use them, you want to hang them up to dry, and you can just hook this right over your faucet. In the bathroom, I hook it over the stopper that closes the tub. I hook it over that, and it sort of hangs to the side. And so they can be dried out. And as far as washing, just toss them in with your towels. You do a weekly load of towels, toss these in, and they wash up just fine, whether they're acrylic or cotton. Of course, I prefer cotton. All right. Now I do have, as always, a complete written out pattern with pictures, and you can find that blog link down in the notes underneath this video. So, like I said, we're using 2 strands of a medium weight cotton yarn, and I like to make what I call these crazy yarn balls, where I go ahead and wind up 2 or 3 strands of yarn so they're ready to go for different projects. But also, like this one, this is a bulky number 5 or number 6, and I just used 1 strand, where this one is 2 strands of a medium weight number 4. And of course, I only used cotton, but like I said, if you're someone who prefers acrylic, acrylic will work just fine. All right, so we're going to stitch with our J hook, which is a 6mm crochet hook. And I have 2 needles out here because sometimes when you use 2 strands together, the yarns don't end at the same time, and you need to hook those together, and you'll need a smaller needle to weave those in. And then when they do end at the same time, you can always do them together with your bigger needle. Just make sure the eye is big enough for the yarn to get through the hole. And of course on this one, I wanted to use the bigger needle because I used a chunky yarn. All right, and then you need a pair of scissors. Oh, and the amount of yarn that you're going to need is approximately 3 ounces, whether you're using 2 strands of acrylic or the chunky. The total weight is about 3 ounces. We're going to be starting at that ring at the top and then working our way down our washcloth. So I have my 2 strands held together. I'm going to make my slip knot, and now I'm going to chain 16 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 chains. I'm going to join this chain in a circle, so I'm going to put the tail of yarn through my loop, and we'll snug that down, and we'll go ahead and tie what I call a stay knot. And now we have that loop. Now we're going to go in the loop, pull up a loop of yarn and chain 1, and that just gets us back up to where we want to be. And now we're going to stitch 18 single crochets around our chain. So we'll go around and stitch 18 single crochets around our chain that we made, that is 16 chains. All right, so we'll have 18 single crochets stitched around that loop. I have stitched 18 single crochets. Now we're going to join to that first single crochet with a slip stitch and chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. Now you could have stitched those over this, but I didn't this time, so I'm going to go ahead and weave this in. You can do it later if you want to, but all I'm going to do is just go ahead and get that underneath those stitches. There we go. We'll just go up and come back the way we came and just weave that in securely. But you can wait till the project's done if you want to weave this in later. It's super duper okay. All right. And then I'll just grab my scissors and go ahead and clip that. And so now for round or row 1, make sure that's nice and rounded. We chained 16, we joined in a circle, then we stitched 18 single crochets over that chain 16. We joined to our first single crochet and chained 3. For row 2, our chain 3 counts as our first double crochet. So we're going to double crochet in the next 3 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3. So our chain 3 counted as 1 and we stitched 3, so there's 4. We're going to chain 1. We're going to skip this next stitch, and in the next stitch we're going to stitch 3 double crochets. 1, whoops, 2, and 3. We're going to chain 2 and then stitch 3 more double crochets in that same stitch. 1, 2, and 3. And chain 1. So we've made that point that's going to go down the center of our washcloth or dishcloth. All right, so we'll skip the next one and then 1 double crochet in the next 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we'll go ahead and chain 3. And this is how row 2 should look. We've got our point. We've got 4 double crochets on each side, chain 1, skip 1, and then our point or corner, which is 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets. All right, let's do row 3. We've chained 3. We're going to turn our work. Our chain 3 counts as our first, so we'll stitch in the next double crochet. 1, 2, 3 double crochets. Then we'll double crochet in the chain 1 space and chain 1. All right, now we're going to move over and stitch those 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 double crochets, and then we came over to the chain 2 space of the point and stitch 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 double crochets. Now we're going to chain 1 and we're going to go to that chain 1 space and stitch a double crochet, and then we'll stitch a double crochet in the last 4 stitches. And chain 3. All right, so now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 double crochets, chain 1 our point, chain 1 and 5 double crochets for row 3. All right, let's do row 4. So we've chained 3, we're going to turn our work, we're going to double crochet in those next stitches. So we have a chain 3, 4 double crochets, and now we're going to double crochet in the chain 1 space, chain 1, skip over to our chain 2 space and stitch the corner, three double crochets, chain 2 and 3 double crochets, and now we're going to stitch our chain 1 and then stitch a double crochet in the chain 1 space and in each of those double crochets. We stitched a double crochet in the chain 1 space and then 1 in each of those 5 and chain 3. And so now for row 4 we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chain 1, our point in the corner, chain 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stitches. And so you're starting to see how this increases on every row. So basically, because we're putting 1 in each of those chain 1 spaces, we're increasing by 1 on each of our sides. All right, let's do row 5. We've chained 3, we turn our work, 1 double crochet, in the next stitch and in each of the double crochets until we reach that chain 1 space. Then we'll double crochet in the chain 1 space, chain 1 and stitch our corner, which again is 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 double crochets. One, 2, and 3. All right, then chain 1, double crochet in the chain 1 space, and then 1 double crochet in each of those remaining double crochets. And chain 3. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 double crochets, chain 1, our point, which is 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 double crochets, chain 1, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 double crochets. And this is the way that the pattern increases. Every row we gain a double crochet over here and a double crochet over here because we're placing them in the chain 1 spaces. All right, now don't worry if this is a little bit wonky right now. When we come back in and do the trim, that will smooth right out. So now what we're going to do is we're going to continue to repeat row 5, and we'll increase every row for 7 more rows. And that's going to get you the 12-inch long dishcloth. If you want it longer, you can do more repeats. If you want it shorter, you can do less repeats. But for the pattern that I have written for the 12-inch washcloth or dishcloth, you need to repeat row 5 for 7 more rows. So this is how your dishcloth or washcloth will look after 12 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And again, if you want your washcloth or dishcloth longer, you can continue your repeat until it's the length that you would like. And again, it's not a perfect square because of how we started with the circle loop at the beginning. After you've completed your last row, instead of chaining 3, you're just going to chain 1 because now we're going to turn and we're going to work a single crochet row all the way around our washcloth. All right, so we'll go right in that first one and we'll stitch 1 single crochet in each of those double crochets, working down to the point, and we'll make sure to put 1 single crochet in that chain 1 space, and then we'll put 3 single crochets in that bottom corner. I single crocheted across. I'm going to single crochet 1 single crochet in the chain 1 space. I'm going to stitch 1 single crochet in the 3 double crochets. And then in this chain 2 space, I'm going to stitch 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. And then I'll stitch a single crochet in those 3 double crochets. 1 in the chain 1 space, and then I'll stitch 1 in each, working over this row till I reach the next corner. I single crocheted the next side, and at this corner we single crochet, chain 1, and then single crochet. And now we're going to evenly single crochet up the side of our washcloth until we reach here. All right, and the key to getting a nice look is to try to stitch in the sides of the stitches and not the holes. You don't want any gaping holes. You want to go right in the sides of those stitches and evenly stitch single crochets. There is not a set number of stitches that you need. If your stitches are coming out too bunched up together, pull them out and loosen them up. If they're too far apart, pull them out and put them closer together. Basically, you're just eyeballing your stitches and making them look nice and neat. So I have evenly stitched up the side. This brings us to our circle and our remaining stitches. So what you're going to do is you're going to place 2 single crochets in the first single crochet. Then you'll stitch 1 in the next. Then you'll stitch 2 single crochets in the next. And this is going to give you a nice rounded edge. And you'll just repeat that till you get back over here. 1 and 2. And so I repeated 1 and 2 around the top of my circle. And see how nice and smooth that looks now? And so now what we're going to do is just evenly single crochet down this last side. All right? And again, there is no set number of stitches. Just stitch evenly, trying to go in the sides of the stitches so it's nice and smooth. You don't want your stitches too bunched up, and you don't want them too far apart. There we go. And sometimes it is a tight fit to get it in there. Alrighty, so I'm just going to work on down the side here. Stitching evenly till I reach this corner. I stitched evenly down this last side. Here's my single crochet. I'm going to chain one, single crochet for a nice corner, and then I'll join to that first single crochet with a slip stitch. We'll cut our yarn, and so that we have a nice finish, we're going to go in the next loop, grab that loop, and pull it to the back. Although with this particular washcloth, the front and the back look basically the same and can be used on the front or the back. Alright, so now I just need to weave this end in, and my washcloth is complete. So now I have 3 of my scrap happy, thick and chunky dishcloth or washcloth that I can use wherever I want to. Now you can color control. You can specifically make these out of cottons you've already chosen, stripe them, make them a solid color, whatever you want to do with them. But I prefer to make the scrap happy ones so that I don't know what colors I'm going to use, and then when all the colors come together, I have these beautiful colors to wash my dishes, wash my bathtub, or even wash my body. I just love how these turned out. They're super fun and super pretty and super easy.